Deep, over to you. If you remember, how did the journey of Sherlock really happen from 2023 and 2024 specifically? Specifically, mentioning what Woody mentioned about when AI took world by storm.
Yeah. Say about 2 decades of experience in the business and corporate arena. So we thought executive coaching would be a fit. And as time passed, this was in 2004, I did my first certification from the UK. This was WABC and not ICF. And that thereupon started my coaching journey. As it unpacked, I became successful quickly because I was too focused. I thought this was my calling very early then, and I was successfully enrolled in very large organization, empaneled as their coach, and this is at senior leadership level. What happened in about 5 or 6 years through the journey, and about I think 700 hours I would have clocked at that time. People used to talk in terms of hours, not in terms of number of years. I mean, they still do in terms of coaching practice, not in hours of coaching. So what happened was, due to the success and great feedback, I started being driven more by the very purpose. So they kicked in that passion and purpose, and not just the whole piece about, oh, I'm getting good feedback and all of that. Uh, Also, little some conversations, brief conversations, informal conversations in a very coaching style moved people a lot. And that was very inspiring again. So, hence, in the entire journey, the whole piece about, okay, one organization, one person at a time, was great. But when you realize and you get that sort of feedback that, okay, you can help so many more people. I also realized at the time, when you talk of how Sherlock was inspired, what is the genesis? I also realized at the same time that there were, of course, a number of coaches. Coaching was predominantly in the past 2 decades, it's really risen as a practice, as a profession. Yet, I observed, and I think we still do observe, the quality and the consistency of coaching is something we've always talked about. So that was another trigger to do something which is scalable. And I think this was 4 years ago when we were doing Credit Suisse. That was like the final nail in the coffin, if I may, of how Sherlock was born. We were coaching 45 very senior leaders in Credit Suisse. Again, speaking with their team members who had never tasted coaching. These were middle managers, early career. They were high potential people. They were very sharp, and they had so much potential to change and to change their thinking, change their attitudes. They had that potential. They just didn't have a lever. Yeah. So that's where this whole idea about creating something for early career and Gen Zers came up. And that's where the journey started. Fast forward 2 years down the line, Gen AI happened, and that was a kind of a flip in the whole system of Sherlock as a platform, and things changed from there on in. So yes, it was driven by passion and purpose. Finally, this whole piece about Sherlock, and then the practicality of it. We had technology to support what we thought about. So we were kind of, while we were thinking out of the box, we were working in the box. We didn't want to boil the ocean. We wanted to kind of be mindful of the limitations as well of Gen AI, right? And to Woody's point, Woody made a point about how an AI would react or respond to humans. I'd also like to flip that over, and I wanted to see how humans respond to AI coaching. Just to flip that over. So what we did was, before Sherlock, we did something remarkable. When I say remarkable, we experimented. We experimented with 50 middle managers and early career of Publicis Sapient. I remember that 20 days. We told these people that they will be coached by a coach bot. We didn't say to them it'll be human on the other end, and it'll all be by text. So we did that experiment. We have that experiment tabled and documented. The feedback after this experiment was remarkable. 90% plus, over 90% people, and we did a bit of a survey, moved, and none of them knew or none of them believed there was a human at the other end because we had no context. We had never spoken. We started via text, tuck, 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 and people actually asked us a question: are you a robot or are you a human at the other end? And we said, it's a coach bot, not human. We didn't have a name. And that kind of made us believe that, hey, Gen Zers and early careers can be coached just via text. And they moved, and this was 20 minutes. We capped it to 20 minutes. Why did we do this experiment? Because there were some naysayers in the corporate world who said that this will never work. Our idea won't work. This is just to accept coaching for these people is hard enough. And you talking about a machine coaching them. Well, it just worked. And now there's no stopping. We have some early adopters, clients. And yeah, so yeah, that's how Sherlock started.
Yeah, and then just to add a little anecdote there, I think when ChatGPT happened, specifically in 2023, and I still remember a call from one of our technology founders saying that you have to see this. It can speak like a human. I remember his words. And when I saw the coaching chat for the first time, I was like, oh my God, are we going to be redundant? That was the first thought I had because Deep and I took so much time and effort in 2 years making rule based, structured conversations. That's why there's so much meat in Sherlock, and it's just not only relying on the contextual aspect of LLMs. But then when the magic started happening, when we started combining those together and OpenAI and other LLMs, we have leveraged three so far. It changed the game in terms of how real that conversation can be. So it was a game changer. I think last year we stuck a jackpot when LLM and OpenAI and all such pieces happened, and the power kind of came together.